Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. We are from Group 6 and today we will be presenting our chosen organization which is Yayasan Plan Indonesia. We will be discussing about the negligence of a leader to communicate the importance of checking a track record before recruiting an employee. Before we start the presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Haris Ranat Fauzi. My metric number is 281642. And my other members are Faiza Zahwa, Sultan Fikri, Katelia Putri, and Muhammad Sultan. Let's start the presentation and I will pass it to another presenter.
Salam and good day everyone. My name is Faiza Azahwa Wardana and my metric number is 276255. Now I'm gonna explain the introduction to you all. The concept of communication and leadership is that in order to be impacted by a message and respond effectively, one must also acquire listening comprehension. Effective communication as a communication act is regarded important to productive leadership, whether it is speaking responsibly, compassionate leadership, creating faith and credibility, or even organizing effective meetings according to Johnson and Heckman. There was an incident of sexual harassment at Plan Indonesia organization. Due to leadership negligence, to communicate has the ability to disturb individuals, organization, workplace relationship, and the system that maintaining everything running smoothly. Organizational issues are frequently caused by an uncommunicative leader. Additionally, checking track record before recruiting is just as important. From that, employees with an excellent track record might benefit your firm to avoid future problems. That's it from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Katelia Putri Ardini and my metric number is 275918. Now I will explain about organizational background. PLAN International has been active in Indonesia since 1969. In 2017, it became a national foundation known as Yayasan PLAN International Indonesia. PLAN International Indonesia promotes the right of children and gender equality in Indonesia. PLAN Indonesia's vision as PLAN has been fighting for children's rights, youth agency, and equality for kids and young women in Indonesia since 1969. Next, the mission of PLAN Indonesia. PLAN International Indonesia empowers kids, youth, and the community to effect fundamental change to address the basic causes of gender equality, exclusion, and vulnerabilities. Next, PLAN Indonesia's program are children safety, economic empowerment for youths, teenage healthcare and engagement, humanitarian reaction, and resilience building. The last, how PLAN Indonesia raises funds. The PLAN International Indonesia Foundation cooperates and partner with various parties, both individual and corporation worldwide. PLAN greets their partner, Sahabat PLAN. PLAN will use the management of funds and support from Sahabat PLAN to support PLAN program to fulfill the right of children and young people. That's all from me. Thank you.
Here's the story about the protagonist of the leader. Director of Yayasan Plan International Indonesia, Mrs. Dini Widyastuti, has shown empathy and concern for two cases of sexual violence in Indonesia. Mrs. Widyastuti admitted that she was disappointed of the situation because sexual violence in the world, including Indonesia, didn't come to the end. Apart from Indonesia, Brazil and India has the highest rate of sexual violence in the world. She and PLAN Indonesia has affirmed their full commitment to effort to prevent and handle sexual violence in Indonesia in order to make the country reduce the burden of increasing the ratio of sexual in Indonesia. Apart from commitment and empathy, they need 5 characteristics for their missions in combating sexual violence that used to. First is vision, secondly is charismatic or inspirational, thirdly is flexibility, fourthly is positive, and the lastly is creative and innovative. That's the most important thing of the leadership to fight against the sexual violence in Indonesia.
So my name is Muhammad Sultan, metric number 276438. So the effectiveness of an organization is determined by the synergy or collaboration of individuals and groups within the organization in reaching a common goal. In this case, the organization was not capable enough of taking action when there was a sexual violence against women inside their organization. This thing should have been prevented from the start, where they should filter and selected their prospective employees well and serious. Aside from that, leaders play an important role to taking the case seriously. It will determine what kind of leader by seeing leaders' next steps. There is no rule inside the organization that tell what should they do next. But if there is a willingness to take this case serious, the rule can be made. But instead of making the rules and help the victim to find justice, the leader just left the situation and not taking any steps seriously. A good communication is one of the things that leaders should have, but in this case, the way leader approach and taking action does not reflect that.
Decision making is selecting a method for evaluating alternatives and determining a course of action in the face of uncertainty. In addition, in order to be effective, multiple decision making processes are required in specific scenarios. And as for great leaders are able to keep their feelings and their logic in order to make a decision that will have a good effect not just for themselves but also for their workers in this scenario. They are also aware when it is appropriate to act swiftly and advance with information that is now available and when it is appropriate to take more time and acquire further information. In the scenario described above, the leader was confronted with circumstances in which one of their employees was accused of engaging in sexual harassment. Whereas this behavior is entirely inappropriate, particularly in the context of a working environment where the well being of all employees needs to be ensured at all times. The leaders ought to take quick action to find a solution in this situation. In the circumstances described, a leader needs to be able to think in a rational way, have an emotional intelligence, and also have the ability to solve problems in order to find a solution. They should move quickly and take the victim side, including making a more significant effort and showing more concern for the well being of each of their employees. Now, here comes the conclusion. In the current situation, Yayasan Plan fails to build synergy among its employees, things that should have been prevented from the start, but communication and preparation from the Yayasan Plan to its HRM that were less than optimal and thorough could make this happen. Yayasan Plan itself does not have internal rules governing sexual violence. The safety and security mechanism for employees should cover all aspects, starting from the recruitment stage, handling when there are reports alleged cases to providing justice and protection for victims. The way the leader of Yayasan Plan approach and communicate with the victim does not seem serious, even though the Yayasan Plan does not have its rules, but if you have the willingness, rules or SOPs can be made and can be handled. The leader herself should protect and be close to her employees by helping and giving step by step to be taken. A good leader has empathy and good communication with their employees, but this can be seen the unclear fate and progress from the case. The communication carried out by the leaders is not transparent, and the attitude from the leader does not reflect the figure of a good leader. That's all from us. Thank you very much for paying attention, and if you guys have questions, you can leave it on the question box. Thank you so much.
Here's the story about the protagonist of the leader.